Hello and welcome to Pens, Paint and Whiskers. Today on part 3 of Let's Draw Some Fae with me. Well, I've almost finished off these little guys and gals. So here you're just seeing what I have made of them. And the last page is basically, well, the last video, so part 3 is going to be just me speaking about how I just finish off a little piece of artwork. So I'm really, really happy with how all of this turned out. So I think it's probably the nicest artwork I have made for February. Not very many, but I'm really happy with all of this, how it turned out. So today I had planned to finish off. I left this little murders trio up here for the very last. So I'm just going to talk through what I do with them. So picking up where we left off in part 2, I distinctly left them sort of got their main colors down. So how I work really is what I'm trying to hopefully get forward in this video. I did some swatches. So if you were watching along or following along in part 1 and 2, so in part 1 and 2, I took a little piece of cartridge paper and I made some swatches. And I was happy with some skin tones. I was not happy with other skin tones. But off camera, I added them. So I coloured them in. Speaking about this little trio only. So I already knew this fella here was going to be blue. I decided later on she'd be sort of violet, really dark kind of plum violet, and this little lady here would be mauve. And I'm really happy with how they all turned out. So I did some highlights with a Faber-Castell Pitt pen. And you can see the background is blank, their eyes are blank, and there's some clothing kind of designs and jewellery I'm thinking of doing now on film. And if I can get to inking them in, which I might, I'll do that too. But other than that, I have finished off the rest of the page. So you're just here for the very last part. And I was thinking that they should be, so going with my Artex. So I did them all in, I might take you up a little bit. Yeah, that's much better. So you can see what exactly I'm doing. So yeah, I'm just kind of going over them. They are made in, this is a 300 GSM Lowell Mellow watercolor sketchbook. And they're made in kind of graphite, they're made in alcohol markers. So it's mostly graphite alcohol markers. But there's some non-brand and Ohuhus thrown in there too. So I sort of kind of just pick up whatever color. I don't look at brands. I just pick up whatever color I like. And if it's alcohol, it will generally mix well with other alcohol markers. I found that anyway. And then the backgrounds here, like I said, I probably mentioned it before if you are a long-time viewer. I like my acrylic kind of background. So I like these acrylic markers for these backgrounds, kind of a block color background. I never really want to shade very much. These aren't the best for shading, I will admit. So I just kind of like my more graphic style sort of block color backgrounds. That's what I'm doing now. So just filling in so I know where to go now, because the camera and its filming arm are in the way. I might be missing little patches, but that's okay. I'll go over it again off camera. So the reason why I'm doing this now is I came across a Faebruary prompt on Instagram, and I thought, well, why don't I draw some fae creatures? And the specific prompt I was following was, I think, wings and eyes, or wings and horns, and there was another prompt, eyes. So you can combine them. So I did that, and I came up with these little quite devilish creatures sometimes, I think. But you can mix and match with the idea, going with the idea of February. It's not all they're not all little devilish, or they're not all little butterfly creatures, I think. Sometimes I think of fays as being kind of otherworldly, anything otherworldly, so it's a big catch-all umbrella term. My interpretation: if you want to draw butterfly ladies with butterfly wings and pretty dresses, go for it. I don't necessarily. So to me, fae, it's quite a catch-all term. And some of the prompts would lead you to believe that. So that's why I drew these with their eyes. Now they're not physical. I don't think these eyes are physical on the wings. I think they are in fact maybe markings, something along the line of mimicry in nature. So when they spread their wings, you get quite a lot of eyes, or the idea or the illusion of eyes, and that sort of keeps them safe. So anyway, that was my original interpretation of them. So what I am going to do here is going by, so a lot of rattling in my pen box. So I've given them the ladies anyway. I'm not sure about this gent up here, but the ladies anyway. In this video, I'm going to hopefully now we can see this a little bit better, what exactly I'm doing. Yeah, and I already see that I haven't quite fully went around her in my acrylic pen. But that's okay, I'm not going to worry too much about her. And I have indeed brought some more acrylics for her eyes. So they do have now the facial eyes. They might indeed have another set of sort of a one set for heat or another for, you know, something else. I haven't quite thought that far, although I do like the idea that they have facial markings that do resemble eyes too. And forgive me for creating this quite a lot of background noise. I have my art bag behind me. Here's to me not being organized, but anyway. Yeah, so I do like the idea that they have quite startling sort of startling eyes, and they have quite a lot of jewels anyway. So yeah, what will I do? Gold eyeliner. We'll give her some gold eyeliner. So funnily enough, they're quite not a trio I would want to cross or end up in the layer of, but at the same time they are quite made up. So yeah, they're quite the ladies are certainly kind of like their eyeshadow and their jewels. I'm not quite sure about their male friend here, but we'll see when we get to him. I also like the fact, so she's got a bow on her tail. And going with, now I wonder, could I give her, yeah, I can give this little hair clip here, make that into a little sun. So I haven't thought at all about what I would like her to look like. So that's why I'm thinking about it right now as I speak. So yeah, there we go. Maybe a little dangling star. That's why I might seem a little bit hesitant at first, considering, because I'm not sure. I haven't thought about her quite a lot. I haven't thought about any of them at all. So I was thinking maybe an upper arm bracelet for her. So yeah, why don't I do that? So free balling, just a little swirl around her upper arm and another little swirl downwards. And I was thinking her skin tones, like the other fella here I did, so quite glittery. So I might just randomly, this is a Signo ballpoint pen, so I might just randomly put in little sparkles, because who doesn't love skin sparkles, right? And to me, fae, if somebody said, what does a fae look like? Now it's open to interpretation for everyone, but there's a beauty to them too, but there's also a fierceness. And I hope I am kind of portraying that well here. I hope so. I'm not sure if I am, but however, if somebody explained or asked me to explain to them what I think fae looks like or what they are, uh, I would certainly think, yeah, there's a beauty and a fierceness in them, and otherworldly kind of creatures too. So I hope I'm getting that through. I think personally, yeah, I am. But somebody else might come along and say, well, they're not fae, they don't have butterfly wings, and they don't have this, and they don't have that. But look, this is what I'm doing anyway. So sometimes I'm going to hopefully circle or outline these eyes in. No, doesn't want to work. Yeah, that's a Posca pen, and for anyone, if you know, you know, Posca pens can be a little bit temperamental. I don't really like Poscas so much for that reason. Sometimes they can be very watery. Other times they work perfectly, but I do outline in a white Posca pen, and it's going okay for me so far. But that being said, this could be the very video where it just decides it's not going to work. But they're about the only colour of Posca pen I do actually use is white and gold. I don't use any other colours of Posca, and I never use black in anything. So I was thinking as well, just to be quite bright and startling, that these little eyes here, oh, that's too bright. They might be nice being kind of a yellow, sort of to match in with her wine and her gold. So we'll do some yellow here, and we'll do some sort of her facial eyes. That does sound strange. Her facial eyes, maybe some yellow too. Maybe not necessarily all of them. I might do a lighter yellow on this. Yeah, so, and she won't look right until, yeah, until I've kind of sort of inked them out. So do some gold. So she's got a top viewing, seeing eyes, if that makes sense. I hope it does. Now, so, and to ink her, so rattle again. There's a Unipin fine liner, and I'll get a white Posca pen. So here I go with my Poscas, and there's another Posca. So the thinnest Posca, and I might actually, just because I can, I might put little designs on her little dress here. So it is a kind of a, if I say so myself, it is quite a cute dress. I think it is anyway. So we'll put little random sort of sparkly designs on it. And they're quite, sometimes they're little bows, like on her tail it's lilac. So a little bit mismatching, but I don't imagine wherever they live in the fae realm, they're not too concerned with being matched evenly, although they do certainly want to, I'm getting the vibe that they do want to look their best. And she does look her best, I think. So now a little bit tricky with the camera, but we'll do a little shine in her eyes and a little bit of a shine on her gold jewellery. Little tiny bit. Sometimes this Posca pen doesn't quite lay down well over gold, but this one is behaving itself for me. It knows it's being filmed. And I'll just outline her tail. So nice even strokes and a bow on her tail. And like with her glittery companion beside her, I might go over her with glitter. I do like the idea that she's quite her skin is going to be very glittery. Okay, yeah, I do like this. And as for himself beside her, I have been thinking that his white sort of gown, whatever it is he's wearing, yeah, I think that's going to be gold too, and he's going to be outlined in gold, or at least his eyes are too. And for difference, I might do the violet lady here. I might do her in silver, but maybe not necessarily all on film. But you're seeing the final stages anyway. So there's her hair and the top of her dress. I do like her dress a lot. So I imagine with their wings, the back is bare. So wings on humanoid creatures with clothes can be very hard to achieve. I imagine they are backless, so they have clips going up the back and they sort of step into their clothing. And maybe they have someone, as they live communally, maybe there's help at hand. But yeah, the clothing, I'd imagine, clips up the back and they step into it. And this lady, I do like her clothing, but with their wings, I'd imagine it's fairly skimpy too. So not really flowing. They need kind of the tight clothing because of their wings, and because they swoop and they fly, and they climb too. So maybe that's where the jewelry comes in. So her other wing should be, yeah, it should be somewhere. It's not, but anyway, I won't worry about that. And just going to outline her hair. I like her hair a lot as well, so sort of shoulder length. Sometimes I think these flying ladies, they would tie up their hair quite a lot, because obviously you don't need long flowing hair getting in the way when you hunt and when you potentially need to defend your lair. So yeah, she is taking shape and I think she's marvelous looking. But off camera, of course, I will work on her background. So I build up more background, so more a lilac background. And then of course I will have her posted. So by the time this video goes out, she will be probably on Instagram all right anyway. So probably a long time ago, because I do film well in advance. But you'll see her. And yeah, there's more bundles of hair. Hair is something I do like doing a lot. Just sometimes with horns and with the top of the head can be tricky to figure out what way it flows or what way it falls. But hers does. I think hers really does look the best. And there's her little horns. Now, I'm not going to go around her face. I'm going to outline her in white. The face is for quite close details, so I'm not going to do that yet. But I might give her companion here a fancy gown. And I might go over her with glitter. So this is the smallest Posca. It is, I'm not sure what the nib size is, but I always outline my characters with this nib. And it really does them justice. It really makes them stand out. That's a trick I learned from. There are several artists of note. I have learned to do that, and I've only started doing it in the last maybe year or two. But I think if you outline a character in white, it really ups your art game. And if you want to do it, but I personally, yeah, I think it really ups the game with the look of the characters. It gives them a lovely kind of graphic sort of frame. Yeah, so there she is outlined. And I can kind of edge around by her face. So her little face is not going to be done in this video. But that's mostly her done, so you can see the final details of what she hopefully will, well, she will look like, she is going to look like. And I will do the same for these two. And I'll get a ruler and frame them in gold. So that's mostly what I've been doing for each of these. So I saved this little trio for this video. And you're seeing it now in the final stages. So if you have been following me from the very, very start, and you're still here from the very start, you're here at the very end now, thank you very much. I deeply appreciate it. If you're just new and you've just stumbled upon my videos, also welcome and thank you very much for watching until the end. I would appreciate it if you liked and subscribed, and if you want to share some of your thoughts or what you think or any opinions on my art or materials, put it down in the comments. I'd love to have a read of them. I'd love to share thoughts and opinions too. And that's all for now. And when I come back and when you see me again, I upload very regularly. Every week there is a new video out. I'll be doing something completely different from this. But however, goodbye and thanks for watching.